Angular momentum. It is defined about a point or about an axis. In this video we'll talk about angular momentum about a point only. So let's start. Uh, for a particle we define angular momentum. Let's say we are defining angular momentum about O as r cross p, where r is the position vector of that particle from O and p is the momentum of the particle. From this diagram, let's say this is the particle and it has a momentum p in this direction, and we have to find its angular momentum about O. So we draw a position vector of the particle from O. So we can write down rp sine theta or r perpendicular p, similar to the torque. For a pure rotating body, we can have angular momentum about its axis of rotation as I about its axis of rotation, means moment of inertia about its axis of rotation, into omega. And for a journal body which is translating as well as rotating, we can write down its angular momentum as RCM cross PCM, or momentum of center of mass, plus ICM omega. These position vector of center of mass and momentum of center of mass is with respect to O, and omega is the angular velocity, ICM is the moment of inertia of the body about an axis passing through CM. Okay, then in this example you have to find out the angular momentum of this particle about three given points O, 1 and 2. So what we did, we used r perpendicular into p, L about O. The perpendicular distance on momentum from O will be d1. This is the position vector of point with respect to O, and if we take its perpendicular component, we'll get d1. So mv d1 is the angular momentum about O. About 1, which is in the line of the momentum, it will be 0 because the perpendicular distance or the angle between r vector and p vector is 0. And about 2, it will be mv d2 minus d1, but the direction will be opposite. So we took angular momentum of about 1 about O to be positive, so we have to take angular momentum about 2 to be negative, and this angular momentum about 1 is in clockwise direction or inward, about 2 it's in anti-clockwise direction or outwards. Similarly, in this example we have to find out the angular momentum of this body about O, 1 and 2. So as this body is have some translational velocity as VCM and also rotating with an angular velocity omega, so its angular momentum about O will be ICM omega plus m VCM into r perpendicular, which is d in this case. About point 1, this term will be 0 because the angle between r vector and p vector is 0. About point 2, r perpendicular will be d dash, but omega, or we can say the angular momentum due to omega and angular momentum due to r cross p will be in opposite direction, so we have to place a negative sign over here as we did earlier in the example. This example explains that we can apply angular momentum about axis of rotation as well as a general relation of angular momentum for a body who is purely rotating about an axis, and if we have to find out its angular momentum about the axis of rotation. So angular momentum of the rod when it is purely rotating about one of its end is equal to ml square by 3 into omega, which can also be written as this ICM omega plus mvcm cross RCM, which will be this, and both the results will give you same answer. Now we'll talk about conservation of angular momentum. Again, this conservation will be applied about an axis or about a point. So if external torque about a point on an axis is 0, angular momentum of the system about that point will not change. This is the mathematical expression for the statement dl by dt about a point is equal to the external torque applied about that point. Rate change of angular momentum is directly proportional to the external torque. There is one more term we should learn, which is angular impulse. Again, it is defined about a point or an axis. So what is angular impulse? Angular impulse is r cross I, where r is the position vector about which at which linear impulse is acting, and I is the linear impulse, and angular impulse will give you the change in angular momentum. So angular impulse can also be written as its magnitude will be equal to r perpendicular into I. R perpendicular is the perpendicular distance from O to the I vector. And if there is no angular impulse about a point, then the angular momentum about that point will not change. And this statement we use mostly in the questions of collisions where impulses are acting, and if the point of application of impulse, if we take angular impulse about the point of application of impulse, then it will be 0. So in most of the cases we apply conservation of angular momentum about the point of application of impulses. In this question we'll be talking about a boy who is standing on a disc fixed at its center and start moving with a velocity v0, in one case with respect to ground, and in another case the velocity is with respect to the disc. We have to find the angular velocity of the disc and the time taken by the boy to complete one revolution on the disc. So as all the external forces are acting about the center of the disc, so we can apply conservation of angular momentum about that point, because the torque about that point will be 0, and we should try that conservation of angular momentum should be applied from an inertial frame, so that no torque of a pseudo force is to be taken into consideration. So L final is equal to L initial, and when we talk about this, initial angular momentum was 0, both boy as well as disc was at rest, and when they start moving, the boy will move in one direction and disc will move in another direction, so they will have opposite polarities of angular momentums. The angular momentum is mv0 r. v0 again, I must specify, is the velocity of the boy with respect to ground. All the velocities should be taken from the inertial frame or ground frame. ICM omega. ICM is the moment of inertia of the disc. So, and if we talk about time, time will be 2 pi r, the distance covered by the boy on the disc, divided by the velocity of boy with respect to disc, which in this case is equal to v0 plus r omega. In the next example, when the velocity v0 is with respect to disc, we have to find the velocity of boy, absolute velocity of the boy, which is with respect to ground, which will come out to be v0 minus r omega according to this diagram. The boy is moving towards left and the disc is moving towards right, so the velocity of the disc will be minus r omega, and velocity of boy with respect to disc given to you v0, velocity of the boy will be this. So by putting it in the expression, we again get new angular velocity of the disc in second case, and in this case the time will be 2 pi r by v0. A particle hits a rod which is hinged at its top, and we have to find its angular momentum after collision. The restitution is given, length, mass of the rod is given, and so on. So we can say, as all the impulsive forces are acting at this point, external impulsive forces I am talking about, so if we take angular momentum, or we can take angular impulse about this point, which will be 0, so angular momentum about the hinge will not change. Writing the initial angular momentum about the hinge and the final angular momentum of the system about hinge, will get mvl plus I about axis of rotation into omega, and equating these two, we get equation number 1. another equation, which is velocity of approach into E is equal to velocity of separation. This we have learned from collision. Will give you E u minus 0 L omega minus V, where L omega is the speed of the point on the rod bottommost point and V is the speed of the particle after collision. So from these two we can solve for omega and V. And a question which is similar to the previous one. Now the rod is free and the particle hits it at a distance x from its center, and again we apply conservation of angular momentum as well as conservation of linear momentum. Angular momentum we can apply in this situation about any point because there is no external torque at all the forces are internal because of the collision. And restitution equation, the speed of this particle which is hit by the moving object will be VCM plus x omega final speed minus V, which is the velocity of the separation. And with the help of these equations we can solve for VCM, omega and V. A disk rotating with angular velocity omega is brought to in contact with a disk which was at rest. Their centers are fixed by applying some forces. So we have to find what will be their final angular velocities when there is no slipping between the disk. So as I drew the diagram of free body diagram of these two disks, from this diagram it is clear that there is no point C1, C2 or O. There is no point about which external torque of these forces can be made to be 0. If we take point C1, there will be torque due to, let's say, Fx and Fy. And if we take the center of another rod, another disk, then these forces will produce some torque. And if we talk about O, Fy will produce some torques. So actually there is no point, and we should not apply conservation of angular momentum about these points because there is no external torque, because the external torque is not 0. So till the moment they slip, the friction will act as mu n, and we can apply these equations. Their angular accelerations will be constant, which can be given by these equations, torque divided by the moment of inertia. And after time t, let's we assume that slipping ceases. So the angular velocity of disk 1 will be this and of 2 will be this. And as the slipping ceases, omega 1 r1 must be equal to omega 2 r2, and we get the values of omega 1 and omega 2 from these equations. In this example, a disk is thrown like this, and you have to find its final angular velocity as well as velocity when it starts pure rolling. So normal is passing through from the bottom, mg is also passing through the point of contact at the bottom, and friction is also acting about this point. So we can conserve angular momentum about the bottom, as the torque due to all these forces about that point will be 0. So we can write down initial angular momentum equal to final angular momentum when the pure rolling starts, or about we can also take any in between moment as well as the outer moment, because the friction will stop acting when it starts pure rolling. So after equating these two and using this equation, V final is equal to R into omega final when the pure rolling has started. This equation should be applied only when. So we get the value of omega as well as V. And if we want the relation between V naught and omega naught so that the object stops permanently, we have to say that initial angular momentum should be 0. So just equate it to be 0, we get this. It's an important observation. For no other relation between V naught and omega, the body stops permanently. Means no matter what speed you give, the body will finally start pure rolling, except for this condition. Thank you.